It's Kuliana. It's
yeah, it is super Kuliana.
I got it from the distillery that we went to their tasting room when we were in Hawaii.
I got this in Colorado. And that's all I got.
All right, what are you sipping on? Modelo?
It's Modelo. Keeping it light. I gotta do yoga tomorrow.
you got to do yoga tomorrow?
Gotta do yoga. So depends on how many rounds of Hearthstone though, and how much tequila I drink.
How did yoga come about? Is Katie like, we got to do something, activities together?
You nailed it. That's it, buddy. That's it.
You know, I mean, I've done yoga with Rachel.
We did it. I did it in college for years, and I loved it.
Oh,
So,
all right.
I don't remember if you remember a certain ex, but she taught it.
Ah,
Uh-huh.
that rings a bell. Should we start the show?
Yeah, let's do it.
Welcome, all you gentrified internet listeners, to the 10th episode of the Geeqoid Podcast. Double digits, baby. We made it. I feel like this is a milestone that I mean, it's a small milestone, but one that I feel like a lot of podcasting creators don't ever make it to. So I feel accomplished.
One step, one leap.
Yeah. And it's been a minute since we've recorded because we shifted our recording day. So it is officially the weekend now when we're recording. So happy weekend, brother.
Happy weekend. Happy Saturday. And my first weekend in 2-3 months.
Yeah.
So
very exciting. And it looks very nice where you are.
It's currently 47, and it feels like 47. So I got my little propane fire pit underneath me, and tomorrow I will
roasting the chestnuts.
Right now my calves, yeah. But it's beautiful, so I didn't want to miss it, so I'm out here.
Nice. All right, let's get into it.
That's what she said.
So we just had Mario Day, and Nintendo announced a whole ton of sales for the Switch, which is pretty exciting. I don't know if you picked up anything as a result of that.
I did not, but they also did release some more hardware specs, which is not exciting, but it's still cool nonetheless.
You want to take us through that?
Yeah, so everybody's been speculating what the top USB-C port's going to be, and it's generally what a lot of people like Digital Foundry already suspected. It's going to be just an alternate way for you to charge your device. So if it's docked into a TV, you've got the bottom USB-C, but you're in handheld, you don't want that cord hanging off the bottom, or you're sitting on a table, you have the ability to then plug it from the top and do that. If there are other peripheries, data transfer, that kind of stuff, we still don't know until hopefully maybe April.
Well, I think they've said, what is it, April 2nd or something is the official unveiling of all the things.
Right. And then the second one is, and not like anything groundbreaking again, but the old one had Wi-Fi 5. This is going to be Wi-Fi 6. Not 6E, not 7, but still, it's going to be faster transfer rates.
I mean, let's be real. You don't really need anything faster than 5. It's plenty quick.
So that's about it. What about sales?
What about sales?
I don't know. Did you like the sales? The Mario Day sales?
I mean, I don't have a Switch, so it wasn't.
Listen, did you at least look at some future potential games? You're like, oh, that looks interesting.
Yeah, well, I mean, I saw that there was a sale for Mario Kart 8, which is very unusual. That doesn't go on sale very often.
It's very true. It's
But
a great game.
I figured that there's a new Mario Kart coming with a new Switch, so yeah, we'll see.
If that trailer showed anything, it definitely showed something new.
Which I'm pumped for.
Yeah. Metroid 4, Metroid Prime 4 is, I guess, coming out very soon, next month or so.
Oh wow.
And that game looks really good. Like, if you like Halo, first person, but you like that puzzly aspect that you used to get from Metroid on the your platform scroller, this looks I really kind of want to try it. I know I
Yeah.
have this rule right now. Don't buy a game until you finish a game. I might break it.
It's like, how's that working out for you?
I might break that one.
I will say there's a game that is on my radar. I thought it was a very cool concept because we don't have a lot of split screen co-op games these days, which I think is a real shame. But I've
Ooh.
heard really good things about Split Fiction.
Split fiction. Yep, I just finished a podcast and they basically talked about it the whole 30 minutes of their 60. And one of the guys, well, it was IGN. It was like Game Scoop. So Damon Hatfield, who's been running that podcast for 15, 20 years, something like that. He was playing with his 5-year old, and the 5-year old was getting it,
Oh wow.
able to change forms to help dad get over water and whatever they're doing in that scenario. And it sounds really neat of that puzzly. How do I shift from whatever, I guess, a human form to whatever your animal spirit form, whatever this is, and be able to navigate together to solve these puzzles.
Yeah, so I may actually pick it up and see if I can get Rachel to play with me.
That's a really cool idea.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, we don't have a lot of free time, but I think it'd be cool to try.
Yeah, even
So
30 minutes, right? Yeah,
yeah,
15, 30 minutes, do a scenario and then bounce to bath time.
so stay tuned and I'll report back next week. Some other news came out amidst the what was it, the Steam Next Fest that just ended last week, where they're kind of unveiling all the indie games that are coming. But I think one of the biggest pieces of news was Steam hit 40 million concurrent players,
40 million.
which, if you think about it, that is larger than many countries.
I remember when it was just a little like new thing during college, and
And you had to
now,
download it to play Counter Strike.
yeah, yeah, it was nuts. Fucking Left for Dead or whatever. Like that's crazy. 40 million.
Yeah, it is ridiculous. I mean, it just kind of dwarfs all the other platforms. And I know Epic with the Epic Game Store has really been trying to make inroads, but I'd be curious to know what their concurrent player base is by comparison. So I mean, 40 million is like that's concurrent. Like total users is probably hundreds.
Yeah, because I would be in that like, oh, I have an account. I don't know the last time I was on it, but
So as an aspiring indie dev, I mean, it kind of makes sense. Like if you're going to launch a game, it probably makes sense to launch it on Steam. And I know I've flirted with the idea of just going on the Epic Game Store, being an Epic Game Store exclusive because they have a lot of really beneficial things. But oh, man, that's such a huge base.
40 million? Yeah.
Well, I mean, concurrent, but oh, it's just ridiculous. Decisions,
Did
but
did they announce anything else? Because that was all week long, right?
yeah, I mean, we could go into depth. I mean, there's they just have lots of I don't know, like coming soon this, coming soon that, and just like dozens upon dozens of games. Some of them are a lot more developed and better looking than others, and some of them are just kind of like they look like they were made by high schoolers. But you know, like here's a student project, and we're just going to throw it on Steam.
It's like the Android shop. It's like, well, yeah, it's done enough.
Yeah. Steam did roll out a new feature that I thought was really, really good for the community, and it was basically showed how recently the game has been updated. And or maybe I'm not saying that right, but basically for people who launch their games and do pre-launch and basically pre-sell their games, sometimes they might do a rug pull and release their or pre-release their game and never actually finish it because they made enough money. So now you can actually go and see like, oh, are the developers actually still working on the game? Which I thought is nice. Trying to hold the developers accountable for the promises that they make to the community.
Yeah. Hey, did they show off anything for Dota?
So within the last couple of weeks, they've actually revamped the map in some really interesting ways. They've moved where Roshan's pit is. It used to be in the corners of the map, and now it's more towards the center, so it's easier to get to, which means more team fights. They've also like rejiggered a lot of the neutral camps and the rivers. Now there's a lot more waterways, and if you run with the flow of the river, you actually get a speed increase, which is kind of interesting.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
And then they've also reworked how neutral items work. So instead of just dropping from the neutral camps, you actually have to farm the neutral camps to get little tokens, and then you can actually craft the neutral items for tiers 1 through 5.
That sounds interesting.
Which allows you to really tailor your neutral item to your playstyle and to what it is your role is supposed to be doing. So I thought it has been mostly positive. It's gotten a little tricky to get used to where you put the wards and everything, but for the most part, I think it's just all general positive improvements.
Okay, what's up, kid?
Parenting. So yeah, Steam still delivering and still not announcing Half-Life 3.
No. But I've been waiting for even like a Left 4 Dead, and no, that's not going to happen either.
That's going to be a while.
They teased.
I know last week during our conversation, I talked a little bit about Microsoft and how if they could get away from making an Xbox, that they just want to be on all the platforms. And lo and behold, Peter Moore, who is the former Xbox head guy, he was on a podcast or on a YouTube show where he was talking about exactly that. And he said that if Microsoft could get away with it, they wouldn't make the Xbox. So I feel very vindicated in my analysis of the market.
Yeah, I think if they could do, because they've been working on a handheld, and I think they would do a handheld. I think it would be cheaper for them to mass market or to produce, and then just use their cross system.
I mean, they already have their own tablets, like the Microsoft Surface, and I've heard rumblings. I don't know if there's any credence to these rumors that they may be trying to relaunch a phone.
Get out of here.
I mean, we know the Windows Phone did not do well.
It did not.
It was canned very quickly, but I've heard that it might be based on Android. They just want to take some of the market share away from Google and Samsung, effectively. So that could be an interesting development coming in the next 1 to 2 years.
Does this sound like another like Nintendo's always chosen to be their own thing, behind, back, third, whatever you want to call it, and not be a direct competitor with Sony and PlayStation and Microsoft with Xbox. However, Microsoft's always been, since 360, trailing behind PlayStation. This does this sound like another where they know they're not going to take as big of a share from Google or Samsung, and they're okay with that?
I don't know. And because we're dealing with a lot of hypotheticals, I think just from a dollars and cents perspective, I think the market is large enough. And I think that they could spend $100 million and make $200 million, or spend $1 billion, make $2 billion. Like it seems like from a math calculus standpoint, like it seems like a no brainer kind of investment.
Yeah, maybe if they only get 5, 7, 10% of the market, that's still more than enough to
Yeah,
make up and be profitable.
exactly. I mean, Microsoft has a ton of money, so I'm sure shareholders are excited that they're figuring out ways to spend it profitably.
A new Microsoft phone. That'd be interesting.
What else do we have on the docket today?
I went to REI. I spent a lot of money, which wasn't hard.
I went to Trader Joe's and the liquor store across the street. I spent a lot of money.
I'm gonna prep spare ribs.
Ooh, nice. I don't know if you saw this, but Warner Brothers apparently was working on a live action Powerpuff Girls show.
Yes, yes, I heard this.
And I've seen snippets of the trailer, and
Are
oh
there
my
trailers?
oh my goodness, like it keeps disappearing from the internet because I'm sure Warner Brothers is trying to just stop it from getting out, but it looks absolutely terrible.
Oh, damn it! Oh, I liked Powerpuff Girls growing up. Oh,
I did too, but like they basically took
Mojo Jojo.
these teenagers and it doesn't feel like Powerpuff Girls at all. And
No, that animated the style that they drew those characters. How are you gonna do that in real life?
yeah, yeah. So yeah,
It's gonna feel more like Power Rangers.
yeah, which they've pulled off, and but like Power Cup. Oh yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Oh man, I'm getting on the iPad right now. Oh,
I mean, I could share my screen and you can.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, this is only just a few things here.
Oh, that looks horrible. No, even really bad green screen.
Yeah, it's just like, man. So yeah, I'm glad it's canceled.
Gross.
But really, it's like, do you have no original ideas? Like, what's Warner Brothers? I feel is just really struggling.
You know who's not for some reason, and that's Disney. Have you watched the first episode of Daredevil yet?
We've watched the first 2 episodes.
Man,
I'm digging it. I'm so excited. It's back.
it's back, baby.
And I'm excited with the prospect that they're going to bring back the other Netflix Marvel shows,
Yeah.
which would be awesome. It's a return to form. It's getting away from the metaverse nonsense and just back to basics. And we've said this numerous times that it's really what has been needed for the MCU.
Yeah, just some fun. Just like you did with Rogue Squadron. Just make something fun, man.
That was a great segue because I don't know if you saw. She didn't recant, but it sounded like Kathleen Kennedy is not retiring after we had all this news that said she was.
She said she's not retiring from the movie biz and from film, and that when the time is right, she will find a successor and move on. But she also did say she's not leaving the industry in any shape or form, which I'm sure plenty of people have been like, I will hire you, Catherine Kennedy.
Kathleen.
Kathleen Kennedy.
KK.
That's good news. That's good. Yeah, and I'm assuming, dude, like the only person I could think of that would replace her would be Filoni. Like that was George's like George mentored that dude from a kid to the
I
grown up cowboy hat guy he is now.
Yes. I mean, it's kind of like I think Filoni and Favre are like a package deal, kind of.
You think so? That's cool.
I
I
feel
mean,
like they complement each other so well, and
oh,
that's really a
that's a good
benefit.
call. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a good call. Yeah, where the other one is lacking, the other one has it. Yeah, that's yeah, I didn't think of it that way. That's good. And dude, they dig working together. Whoa.
Which is great.
The interviews they have had over the years, like, yeah, that is great. And what was it? One was working on one show, Ahsoka, and somebody else was working on the other, and they were like legit bummed that they weren't working together. I was like, oh, that's sweet.
It's a nice bromance.
Hey, like us.
In other news, Apple's Siri upgrade has been delayed yet again, and I mean, we can't not dish on Apple for
I think there
like,
was already a I think there was already a rumor stating that they were going to do the large language model similar to how they're doing the AI right now. It'll come out in 19, but you're not going to really see Jack until like 19.6.
yeah. And I've heard other things that they might have to completely redo Siri, which also wouldn't surprise me. And at this rate, it might be better just to rip it out and build it from scratch. Just the developments with AI have just been so earth shattering over the last few months, even
Yeah, it
that.
sounds like they're going to. And it sounds like they're going to have to anyway. Siri, I don't mind Siri, but everybody else just says that Google and Android Alexa is just leaps ahead
Yeah,
and has been for years.
this is one of those areas where, I mean, Apple traditionally hasn't cared much about the first mover advantage. They just want to execute and deliver great products, but I feel like AI is moving so quickly that if you're not at the forefront, I don't know how you catch up.
No, no.
And it's
Matter of
kind of
fact, Google's doing so good with Gemini that they sponsored they sponsored an Apple specific podcast that I listened to, The Genius Bar, and those two talked about it and they were like, "It's a great app." And I use it on my iPhone all the time.
yeah, it's kind of man. Even
It's
with Apple partnering with OpenAI, like it just
There's a rumor OpenAI is talking about building a phone.
I did hear that was it a phone or I think they were just talking about a
God.
device of some
Oh
sort.
no, not this again. Let's do another rabbit.
Another
Oh,
rabbit, another pendant. Did
God, I
I
hope
also
not.
hear it was Johnny Ive who might also be working on it with OpenAI,
Yes. Yes. Talk about a fucking up the pooter to Apple.
which it's kind of crazy if he is actually working with OpenAI. And I think there's an opportunity here. I don't know, like this is uncharted territory.
It is super. Like, I don't even know what to speculate, what to like make up, and then see what happens in the next 6 months.
yeah, like the iPhone and just the mobile paradigm shift in general was huge, but I think AI is going to unlock all sorts of new computing interfaces that we haven't traditionally used or leveraged or even thought of. And I think that's probably where OpenAI is trying to go. And they're trying to leverage Johnny's kind of genius, if you will. But it's so many people have tried to launch these AI enabled devices, and no one has been successful in cracking the consumer market.
No, you said it, and other people I've said it. Why have a device like that when you have your phone and that phone already does so much? Why do I need to then bring another device?
And here's the
And
thing, I don't think you can replace the phone because I want to screen. Like I know that people are thinking and talking about like devices without a screen, but at the end of the day, like it's so addictive. Like it's probably not great, but like
no,
between
it's
YouTube
absolutely
and
not
Twitter
great.
and Instagram, like there's just it's endless content at your fingertips, and like it's a great media consumption device. And
I'm doing Riverside right now on my iPhone 16 Pro. How do I look, baby?
I'll admit, not great, but we'll see when the final edit comes through.
It looks pretty good on my end.
Well, I think it's just the bit rate for streaming, so it's gonna get uploaded after the fact, and hopefully it'll be better. But
Looks pretty good on my end. So if it looks pretty good on my end, you should see something good.
all right, cool.
Yeah, I just don't know. And then they want to do glasses, and everybody's very excited. Even here in Indiana, the sticks and cornfields, people are like, "Hey, you got those Ray-Ban Meta?" I go, "Well, Meta's having an issue, which is delaying Ray-Ban, so no."
I I still think the tech is not ready for mass adoption for those. I think it's come a long way, but I'm not ready to shell out, even if it was $100 for a pair. Like I want more functionality. Like I want the Apple Vision Pro in sunglasses form factor.
We all want that, Eric. We all want that. And that price to go down. If it was $1,000, I would be more interested. 3,500, I am not at
Yeah,
all.
I think it's going to take us 20 years to get there,
Whoa.
but I think we'll have it in 20 years.
It's interesting.
Also, it's very difficult to imagine what the world's going to be like in 20 years.
Yeah, you've tried to do that. You're like, my kid's not gonna have a driver's license. The car
I
just
still think that.
the car's just gonna drive himself.
Yeah.
Oh, Apple released the 16E, their economy,
Oh yeah.
and they finally released their rumored, not so uh secretive. Damn, I can't think of it. Their own. I just had a brain fart. Their own cellular chip, the
Oh
C1,
yeah.
and people are pretty happy about it. It's not whatever
I mean,
5G, G plus
it's a
plus,
super basic phone. Great.
but people are digging at least the cellular connection side of it. It's doing very good, and they all other YouTubers and reviewers were like, "Is this going to be like a legit replacement from Qualcomm's?" You know, it's not Qualcomm.
No,
Who
it
makes
is.
their? Is it Qualcomm
I
makes
think
their
it is.
cellular? Anyway,
Either way, yeah.
so it's doing good. It's doing good. So there's some more very light, very quick news. Hey, good job, Apple. You did it again.
Way to
Now,
be really basic and boring.
now, if you can get your fucking software to be what it used to be. I think the last time I didn't have a hardcore issue with it was like iOS 7. Whoops. They were talking about changing the look of iOS 19 to look like the Vision Pro, which reminds me of old Android circular icons. But whatever.
Hmm.
It's a change.
Let's change gears again. And it's a little bit of older news, but James Gunn apparently has a 6-year plan for the future of the DC cinematic universe,
Yeah, I don't remember the
including
list.
a big Avengers-like film.
Yeah, he wants to do like an end game where it all comes together.
So it sounds like basically the Ben Affleck universe is done for.
It's done for, and the Robert Pattinson is going to keep going, but it's going to be a other universe separate from what he's doing. They've already invested. Yeah, the only thing I can think of, they've invested money. The TV show did really good, and they're like, well, shit. And I think they started the Batman 2.
Yeah, it's just God. And I
I
know all
don't.
this was happening before James came on board.
Right.
So,
Yes.
but it's just a shame that stuff had to be so messy, before he got there. Like, holy moly!
Yeah. Yeah. It's really hard. But what's the lineup that they're talking about? I don't remember.
Well, we have
Do you have?
Superman, obviously,
Yes. And
um,
Fido.
which Superman looks pretty solid.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. And the dog looks pretty good too. I'm
uh,
surprised. I'm surprised they're adding the dog. I was like, oh, all right. Well,
but I don't know what other movies I have in the pipe.
here, boy, take me home. DC movie lineup. James Gunn DC. Huh, it's even better. Thanks, Google. Slate under Polygon. Thanks, Polygon. And also, you don't do a subscription service, so I can. Superman Legacy, The Authority, which is based on a 1999 comic book I don't know about. Oh, Wildstorm. Okay. Brave and the Bold, Silver Age, like 67 to 83. Batman and Robin, which will be Damian Wayne, since he's the most creepy. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, which I think they're already shooting. Swamp Thing, which I would love to see, because Swamp Thing, if you ever um you just did some quick Google lore on Swamp Thing, it's very like creepy with weird like spiritual things.
I've been excited to see a proper Swamp Thing get done.
Yeah. Creature Commandos, which they did the cartoon. Waller would have maybe her own type thing. It's a little weird.
So,
And then Booster Gold, they've been talking about, I think James Gunn specifically has been wanting to do a Booster Gold because it's that kind of idea with Chris Pratt and Guardians, this like action comedy kind of thing. Lanterns, we've heard about that. That's the Green Lantern Corps, where they're more like a cop movie, buddy cop movie. And then Paradise Lost, again, I do not know, but it is something to do with like Themyscira and Wonder Woman history. So we'll see. Those are interesting. I don't know if any of them are gonna be cool.
this is a total aside, but talking about Swamp Thing, there was a line in the Heretic movie starring Hugh Grant, which I thought was phenomenal. He plays a really creepy villain where he terrorizes these two Mormon missionaries. But there's at some point one of the girls says, basically quotes a line from a movie or a show, and he's like, "Oh, War and Peace," or like some famous novel, and she goes, "No, Swamp Thing."
Oh, that's pretty good.
I thought that was really good.
I really want to see that movie, but I hate watching Hugh Grant as like a super creepy villain. Like, I'm
Why?
like,
He does a
I
really
don't.
good job.
I know, and I think he's done it a few other times where he's a bad guy. But I just like him not to be.
You
Like
like
even
him?
when he was the bad guy in Dungeons and Dragons, I was like, yes, that's yeah, where he's kind of showboaty, but then he's a villain. But is he? He's kind of a villain.
So you prefer the Love Actually Hugh Grant?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Love Actually. It was one of my favorite movies.
All right. Have you seen anything recently that is worth noting?
No,
Wow,
I've
way to
been.
kill the conversation.
I know. I'm sorry. Like my hours. So I shifted to a new location, and it's an hour drive there and an hour drive back with like 9.5, 10 hours working. And so I leave like so early, get home late, and I've got still an hour and a half to try to whip something up for dinner and maybe an hour to spend on the couch before going right back to bed and doing the same thing. So we've been watching Parks and Rec. And I'm like, do you want to watch like Austin Powers? And she's like, no, Parks and Rec. And I go, you know what? That's a good idea. So right now, Chris and Anne are having their baby. She's pregnant. They're gonna move. So sad. They're gonna leave Pawnee, Indiana. So that's where we're at.
Ah, okay.
What about you?
We just watched all of Zero Day in the matter of a few days. We thought that was really good. It's
There's
basically a cyber attack. It's the United States, and they create a commission to investigate, and they effectively
oh,
waive people's rights as part of the commission's power.
and they bring back an ex-president, and it's a super famous guy.
Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a ton of people like Robert De Niro, Lizzie Kaplan, Jesse Plemons. The cast is really solid, and everything about it is pretty great. We
Would you
really
say it's
enjoyed it.
like, is it espionage or is it like
It's
what would you say?
it is like a kind of a spy thriller, but it's like government agencies and was it the Russians? And then it's I don't want to give too much away, but there are some pretty big twists, and it's yeah,
There was
it's worth the
something.
watch. It's only I think 6 episodes, so it's pretty easy to get through.
What streaming service is that?
Netflix.
Netflix. There's one that's on Netflix, I think, right now, and I can't remember what it is, but it's like they have to watch this cavern. There's a girl on one side and there's a guy on the other side, but they're not given any clues to why they're watching the edge of this cavern, and then they drop in, and all of a sudden it looks like it goes into like aliens predator shit, and I was like, okay, this is
So I wouldn't call this breaking news, but this literally just popped up on my feed. The Russo brothers of Avengers Infinity War fame, they have a new movie coming to Netflix next week, The Electric State, which I thought looked really good. It is one of the most expensive movies ever made, coming in at 320 million
Jesus
US
Christ.
dollars.
Hope it's good.
Uh,
What's the
appar-
premise?
it's got a 19% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh no. Oh, no.
Yeah.
What's it based on? Like, do you know
It's
what this?
based on an adaptation of the 2018 novel by Simon Stalenhag. A mysterious robot, eccentric drifter, orphan teenager, something. Yeah, I don't know. I remember seeing a trailer and it looked really cool, but that is really underwhelming. I'm still going to watch it probably, but
They spent $320 million. Like, I gotta watch it.
exactly.
I mean, I gotta watch
I
it.
mean, I watched both of Zack Snyder's recent faux pas.
Oh, I did too. Yeah, I stayed up late to do it because I was like, Katie will not. And yeah, it was
Rebel
something.
Moon was a train wreck, and
They
we've
both
already
were
gone into that on this podcast before.
not good. Yeah, like it's not even a popcorn watch.
It's
It's
take some ayahuasca.
yeah.
But oh gosh, I totally forgot about Mickey 17. It's coming out. Was it this weekend? I think so. Which this has to probably be my most anticipated movie of the year. I think.
What is it?
You don't know about this? It's
No.
Mickey 17. It's starring Robert Pattinson, and it's
Okay.
the director of Parasite, Bong Joon-ho, I think. I have to look it up because I don't want to butcher it. Yeah, Bong Joon-ho. So he won Academy Award for Parasite. He's a Korean director, but basically, Robert Pattinson's character signs some paperwork and agrees to go on this expedition where they can basically reanimate him an infinite number of times.
No.
And they just do experiments and send him into like really messy places and outer space. And basically he's a living crash test dummy.
No.
And one of the clones meets one of the other clones and stuff goes sideways. So there's like Mark Ruffalo's in it, Toni Collette, Stephen Yeun, and obviously Robert Pattinson. And it's people have been raving about it even before it came out. It's coming in high 70s for tomato meter, but I'm a sci-fi geek, so I really want to see this movie. And
Yeah.
I got to figure out how I can go see it.
It sounds good.
It's described as a sci-fi comedy drama mystery thriller.
Uh,
But the trailers do look really funny.
oh, the Gorge. That's what I was thinking of, but I can't
Ooh,
remember
we
what
might we
it's
might watch
on.
that tonight.
What is that on? Is that on Netflix?
Apple TV Plus.
Oh, Apple. Dude, they are fucking killing it.
I will admit we just resubscribed a few nights ago to Apple TV Plus because we wanted to watch Severance. And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
Rachel fell asleep 10 minutes into season 2.
So do I. Katie loves it. And so does everybody else. They're all like, Severance. It's like everybody's pop culture reference right now for
Yeah.
2025. And then there's me going, yeah, it's fine.
All right, we should
It's
probably
not
wrap up. We're getting cut along and grasping for content. Am
kidding
I
me.
am I wrong?
No. Listen, things will start picking up. Spring is almost here.
Yeah, and
Then
next weekend will be St. Patrick's Day episode.
that's right. That's right. I'm going to, since Nine Irish Brothers is no more in Indianapolis, rest in peace. I'm gonna try to throw a little shindig here and make some of the appetizers that we would have there. Here, I am not doing the goat cheese ball.
What
Telling
about the
you
shamrock
right now.
sauce?
Yes, that's easy.
Okay.
Yes, and the Irish nachos with brisket or corned beef.
We'll have to figure out when we want to record next weekend. Friday?
Whatever. Sunday. I don't care.
Okay, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. We always do.
But thank you everybody for tuning in. This is the 10th episode, and it'll be available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, X. It's going to be on all the things, and please give us positive ratings and say nice things about us, because we have fragile egos and we can't take it otherwise.
I already sway back and forth like I'm rocking myself in a dark corner, so it's fine. Just add to it.
All right, signing off is Jarrad Shaw and myself, Erik Wesslen.
Whoop, whoop.
Stay classy.
Oh, San Diego.
End of transmission.